Recording your trade is one of the most important aspects of trading. Just like the way a business works, you cannot know if you're making profit or not in a business until you begin to record those businesses. So the amount of profit, the amount of sales you made in a day, you're recording it. The expenses you made, you're recording it. And then even at the end of the week, you're able to check your expenses from your income, and then you'll be able to know your net profit. Then you can begin to know how to improve on that business. Does that make sense? So that is the same thing with trading as well. Since you're treating trading as a business, you need to be able to learn how to record your trade so that you can know where to improve, where you're making mistakes, and where you need to improve more on. Okay. So the first thing you need to do is there's a simple way you can begin to record your trade. You can begin to do that using your simple notepad. So you go to your iPhone, right? Go to your notepad and create new notepad. Okay, new note. Then the simple way you can begin to do that is you can begin to say, let's say we can call this my trades. Okay. Then the next thing you want to do is you can say trade one. You can see the way I'm actually doing it. Then you say the pair you're trading at the moment, which is, let's say, BTC USD, right? BTC USD. Then the next thing you need to do is the capital you're risking. Capital. Let's say you're starting with $1,000 now. You put the $1,000 there. $1,000. I say 100K. So the next thing you want to do is the amount you're risking in this trade now. Amount risking, right? So let's say you're risking 1% now. 1% in this trade, which is equal to what? 1% will be $10. Okay. And now let's say the amount you actually want. Let's say in this trade you want 2%. Okay. So you can say profit to stroke loss, or P/L. But let's put it this way: profit to loss equals to, let's say you want 2%, right? So 2% now will be $20, because you're risking 1%, right? And then you said you want 2%, which is $20. Okay, so that should be a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio, 1-to-2 risk to reward ratio rather, in the trade you took. Meaning you risk 1% to make 2%, which is 1-to-2 risk to reward ratio. Does that make sense? The next thing you want to put now is your new capital, which should be 1,000 now, right? With an extra $20 which you just made. Your new capital should be 1,020 now. Okay. Then the next thing you want to do is you want to input the screenshots of the trades you just took. So you want to go to choose photo or images, right? Don't forget that you have to have screenshotted the before and the after. Then all you need to do is put the before and then the after. The before and then the after. Okay. That was before you took the trade, you screenshotted it, and then after you've taken the trade, you screenshotted it as well, and then you click on add. So you can see now that we have the before and the after here now. Okay, so that you'll be able to go to it and track it and know what the mistake you made. The next thing you want to do is go to trade 2 now, right? And then the pair you want to trade, let's say BTC USD again as well. USD, let's say sell or buy. Let's say sell this time around. And the other one you can put, let's say this one was buy. Okay, BTC USD buy. Now the next thing you want to do is just repeat the same process. Capital. Now your capital is no longer $1,000. Your capital will be $1,020, right? Remember, the next thing is amount risking. The amount you're risking now is no longer $10, because your 1% now is not going to be $10, but 1%, which is equal to what? Is going to be 10.2, because your new capital is $1,020. Okay. Then the next thing you want to put is, did you win the trade or not? So P and L, or profits to loss, let's put it this P and L. Okay, so your P and L now, did you win the trade? Let's say you won the trade with an extra, let's say 2% more. So now your P and L will be plus 2%, which is plus okay, let's say 20.4. So you were risking 1%, which is 10.2, right, to make extra 2%, which is now 20.4. So hope it's very easy to explain. Now your next thing is your new capital. Your new capital now will be 1,000. So all of this is just normal calculation, okay? So now your new capital will be 1,040.4. Does that make sense? So your previous capital, which is 1,020, now you just made an extra 20.4. So now your new capital is about 1,040.4. The next thing you want to input is the screenshot of the image you took, the before and the after. Okay, so let's say this was the before and this was the after. These are just examples. Okay, so you add, you can see how it's coming out now, right? My trade is trade 1, trade 2. Okay, now let's do the last one. Let's say trade 3. Let's say it's USDT, right? USD, let's say buy. Okay, capital, what was the capital you're coming out from the previous trade? 1,040.4. Then the amount you're risking, so let's say you're risking 1% in this trade now. 1% will be 10.4, right? Yeah, 10.4. So let's say this time around, you lost the trade. So profit and loss, P/L, right? So if you're losing this one now, what's the amount you're losing? Minus 10.4, because you're risking 1%, right? So you lost the 1%, which is 10.4. So your new capital now will be, your new capital now will be 1,040 minus 10.4. So what you'll be left with now is 1,030. Okay, 1,030. Yeah, that should be what you should be left with, I guess. So just do the calculation very well, right? Okay, then after that, the next thing you want to input is the images, which is the before and the after. Let's look for something else to put. Let's use this one, the before and the after. Something like this, and then you add. You can see how it's coming out, right? So you can see that before you know it, I'm already beginning to create a trade journal for myself on recording my trades. Okay, so this is just one thing I do. Another thing I do is, you can also decide to put the way you felt, right? You can say emotions. This is just a little bit of an advanced way I actually do my trading. So the emotions I felt, right? Anger or greed, right? Or whatever you felt, right? Regret. A lot of things that you actually felt when you took this trade, okay? Or FOMO, fear of missing out, okay? So it's very important to record these things as well, so that you can begin to go through them later and reminisce the way you felt, so that go through and process the emotions, know why you felt that emotion, so that next time when that emotion comes again, you begin to realize that, okay, yes, I've actually gone through this emotion before previously, and I know the actions I took, which weren't really the actions that I'm supposed to take. So that is why it's important to actually record the emotions yourself. You can even begin to go deeper and explain the emotions yourself. I felt this and this, I felt this way. I felt anger because because I missed the entry and I started chasing it. So a lot of other things you can decide to begin to add to it. Okay, it's just a journal in a way that suits you, so that you can begin to go through it later and figure out where you actually made mistakes and where you can improve from. So this is the way you can begin to do it, right? And most of the time I usually advise you to take at least 10 to 20 trades before you can begin to know if you're making improvements or not. So once you can take about 10 to 20 trades, that is the only way you can begin to know if you're making money or not. Remember that trading is a journey, the journey towards 10 to 20 trades. Not just, you can't know if you're making progress or profit within just one trade. It has to be after a series of trades. Okay, so this is a very simple way of how you can begin to record your trades, so that you can begin to improve in the future. Okay, recording your trades is extremely important. So hope this finds you well, and hope it makes a lot of sense to you, and I'll see you in the next.